This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Wildcard Weekend Sunday Action. We're looking at two big-time matchups in the playoffs to wrap up Wildcard Weekend. But before we do, I want to let you guys know I will be breaking down these games in their entirety at the conclusion of these games here on the Louie Tee Network live. And also at halftime of these games, I will be giving you a synopsis of the first half through the eyes of me, Louie Tee. I'll also be on Twitter tweeting the entire game. So if you want to join me for that as well, feel free. But the halftime show live will be on Twitter. So check me out on Twitter at halftime. I may even simulcast on Facebook as well, but stick with Twitter for now. I'll also be tweeting out live during the game. So if you want to chop it up with your man Louie Tee while watching the game, feel free to do exactly that. Let's talk about the first contest on Sunday afternoon. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the only team in the AFC bracket playing in Wildcard Weekend not to be starting a backup quarterback, taking on the 6th-seeded Miami Dolphins. So this is a 3-6 matchup. And the Dolphins, this is a team that overachieved this season. After starting out the season 1-4, they got hot with first-year head coach Adam Gase behind the running game of Jay Ajayi and the right arm of Ryan Tannehill. All of a sudden, this team came alive, won a ton of games down the stretch, and clinched a playoff berth before Week 17 at 10-5. Ended up at 10-6 on the season. And this is a Dolphins team that has a little bit of confidence, but without Ryan Tannehill in the lineup, Matt Moore coming in, he did exactly what I thought he would do, which is steady the ship, get them to the postseason. Now the question is, can he win them a playoff game? And I don't know if I feel like that is going to be the case. Now, the one thing on the side of the Dolphins is they played this exact same Steelers team earlier in the season, and they dominated them at home, injuring Ben Roethlisberger, and Jay Ajayi goes off for over 200 yards in that football game. So they have something that they can hang their hat on. If they can run the football effectively again versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to have a shot. Matt Moore is no slouch. He can get it done, especially if they're able to stay in third and manageables with the run game. But make no mistake about it, if you're the Dolphins, that's going to be your focal point offensively. Can we establish the run like we did the first time around against these Steelers and keep our quarterback, Matt Moore, upright? Now, Tannehill did practice on a limited basis, but he's been ruled out of this game already. Don't expect him to play at all or even be available for that matter. But in any event, if you're the Dolphins, Jay Ajayi is probably your best bet to try to get this one done. If you can run the football effectively, it's going to open up some avenues in the passing game for Matt Moore and company, and that's probably going to be the approach that the Dolphins take in this football game. You look at their defense, and they've got some question marks over there. They're already going to be without one of their corners in Byron Maxwell in this game, and this is not the team you want to show up to light in the secondary against in the Pittsburgh Steelers, who can fire it all around the football field with a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. So that's a scary proposition there for the Dolphins on the defensive side of the football. They're going to need to get after Ben like they did the first time when they injured him and knocked him out of the game. If you want to have some success, you're going to have to get after Ben Roethlisberger, and you're going to have to stop Le'Veon Bell, and you're going to have to slow down Antonio Brown. It's all about the killer bees in this game if you're the Dolphins defense. Slow down Brown, slow down Roethlisberger, and try to contain Le'Veon Bell. Whether he's catching it or running it out of the backfield, you need to keep tabs on him as well. For the Dolphins, if you can generate a turnover or two, and Ben Roethlisberger has been sloppy with the football of late, if you can generate a turnover or two, you can have a shot on the road if you can establish a little bit of a run game. It's going to take a team effort here, maybe even special teams, a big return by someone. Who knows? You're going to need all phases of the game to help you on the road with a backup quarterback if you're looking to take down the Steelers, if you are the Miami Dolphins. As for the Steelers in this game, like I already mentioned at the top of the program, they're the only AFC team playing in Wildcard Weekend with their original starting quarterback making an appearance in this postseason. So they have to feel good about their chances at home against a Dolphins team that is wounded. And look, you got all of your players that you need to have an impact. Brown, Bell, Roethlisberger, all out there. The Killer Bees in full effect. They may get Ladarius Green back. I'm not sure if they will or not, but they're still effective on the offensive side of the football. And my biggest thing is, if you're looking to win this game, score points. Don't allow this thing to be a low-scoring contest, which will allow the Dolphins to hang in. Drive up the scores. If you can score 30, the Dolphins won't meet you there. I can guarantee it. You get to 30 in this game, you're going to win. You get to 27, most likely you're going to win this game. If you allow this thing to be 23 or 20, that's where the Dolphins are going to be. They're going to hang around, and they're going to have a shot to steal this game. Put them out of their misery early. Jump them early. Get them out of this game if you're the Steelers. It's easier said than done. This is not an easy Dolphins team to dispose of, but I think with some of the injuries, and I think just where this Steelers team is right now, they're hot. I think this could be a really good performance for a Pittsburgh Steelers team looking to try to make some noise in the AFC playoffs. I'm taking the Steelers at home. I think having a backup quarterback in Matt Moore, who I think is really solid and can get the job done, I don't think he's ready for playoff postseason football. I think Jay Ajayi, who has played well, still dealing with some nagging injuries. I don't see him having the same type of impact. I think the Steelers are going to force Matt Moore to beat them. They're going to load up the box, stop the run first and foremost, and force Matt Moore to beat them, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that effectively. And I think the Steelers can score some points on this Dolphins defense, and I think they're going to win this game against the Miami Dolphins 30-20. So I think they're going to get the job done, all the Steelers, and I think they're going to do it in convincing fashion as well. You move on to the Sunday afternoon game, which I think most people view as the best game of the weekend. Go figure, hence it's the final game of Wildcard Weekend. The 4-seeded Green Bay Packers taking on the 5th-seeded New York Football Giants. The G-Men come into this game playing some solid football. We know about the track record and the history between these two teams in the playoffs. Both times the Giants have won the Super Bowl under Eli Manning. Both of those times they had to go to Green Bay and win a game. Here's a similar scenario. The two of the things that I look at that are similar to those Giants teams that won, you're playing defense right now, and you have Eli Manning with a receiver that he feels comfortable going to. And so this is a dangerous Giants football team right now because this defense is playing at a very high level. You could argue they're the hottest defense in the postseason right now. They're playing that well and have played well for a majority of this season. And so this is a dangerous Giants football team. Offensively, they're not very good. They're one of the worst third down offenses in the league. This is what the formula for winning has been of late. Play great defense, hold the other team to 13 points or less, and make one big play with Odell Beckham throughout the course of the game to get us the W. That's not going to be good enough against the Green Bay Packers. They're going to have to score some points. They're going to have to get opportunities in the red zone and cash them in. You're going to have to dial back some of your aggressiveness. Ben McAdoo has been extremely aggressive this season on fourth down situations. Maybe you have to punt in this game. You don't want to give Aaron Rodgers any short field. So I think this is one of those games where you got to make some calculated decisions if you're Ben McAdoo in some situations where you may have to punt the football where you would go for it in the regular season. Every possession matters. Every decision is magnified. And so we're going to make sure you don't make any of those costly mistakes. Give the football to the Packers at their own 41-yard line, which is a death sentence if you're playing against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who is extremely hot right now. But this defense for the Giants could be the one to cool him off. They're that good. If you're the Giants, you've also done a great job of establishing a run game, giving you a little bit of balance. If you can find a way to do that, Paul Perkins with his highest career total last week versus the Redskins, first career 100-yard game with 102 yards rushing, look to duplicate that. Continue to run the football and be effective in the run game, which is going to create balance for a Giants team that has lacked that for most of the season. You've got weapons to get the football to, whether it's Shepard or Beckham or Cruz. There are weapons out there to get the football to. Got to establish the run if you can, if you're the Giants, and be better on third downs. Part of the reason you haven't been good on third downs is because of the lack of run game. You found yourself in third and long situations. Here's an opportunity to hand the football off against a Packers defense that hasn't been great this season. So you get some opportunities, you take your shots, but for the most part, try to stay out of third and long with Eli Manning and company. This defense is so good. Don't turn it over if you're Eli Manning. When the Giants lose, Eli turns it over. When they win, he doesn't. It's a simple formula. Don't turn it over. Force the Packers to have to go the length of the field against this elite Giants defense and see where the chips fall after that. If you're the Green Bay Packers, you've played this Giants team in the regular season already and you beat them, but this is a defense that can get after Aaron Rodgers, can make him uncomfortable. I think they picked him off twice, if I'm not mistaken. Both might have been by Janoris Jenkins in that first contest. So they can get their hands on the football. You have to be careful if you're Aaron Rodgers. And he's been on a tear of late. He predicted that they would run the table and win the division, and that they did, winners of 6 straight after being 4-6 on the season at one point. They are now 10-6 or into the postseason, winning the division in Detroit last week, scoring 31 points. So this is a high-octane offense. Jordy Nelson starting to rev it up. You're getting contributions from Devontae Adams and even now Geronimo Allison at receiver. This is a dangerous Packers football team, especially at home, late in the season. Now we're into the postseason. Lambeau's going to be cold. It's going to be advantage Packers. They need to establish some sort of a run, whether it's Ty Montgomery or anyone else back there, Christian Michael. They have to be able to run the football. If not, that's going to allow the Giants, who's a damn good run defense, but they're even better stopping the pass. It's going to allow a Giants defense to get into some situations where Spagnuolo may come with the blitz, speed Aaron Rodgers up, who's one of the best quarterbacks under the blitz. So it would not shock me if they avoided blitzing and dropped into coverage in this game either way. Look at the way Aaron Rodgers is playing the quarterback position right now. He's red hot. But if there's a defense out there that could cool his ass off, it's this Giants defense. This Packers defense still not very good. Watched them last week against Detroit. There were holes galore all over the place. They still have some defensive issues and woes. I think that they can lose this game at home. I'm predicting the only road winner of the weekend. I'm taking the New York Giants on the road to go into Lambeau and find a way to win. Eli Manning has an outstanding record versus Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I'm looking for that success to continue here. I'm taking the Giants in a defensive, low-scoring affair. Giants go on the road and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 17-16 in Lambeau. That's going to be a hell of a contest. And if the Giants, in fact, are able to get that win, it could set up a matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys for the third time this season, the only team to have defeated the Cowboys when they were actually trying to win the game. So that would be a fascinating matchup there, but they got to get through the Green Bay Packers first with a red-hot Aaron Rodgers. Don't like the Packers defense right now, so I think the Giants can find a way to muster 17 points in this game, and that Giants defense has been shutting everyone down of late. And I think they're going to add Aaron Rodgers to that list as they continue to play outstanding defense. So those are my predictions for the Sunday matchups on Wildcard Weekend. What are yours? Leave all your comments down in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys and see what your predictions are for the Saturday and Sunday contests. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Remember, I'm going to break these games down after they're done directly at the end of the game. Come here to the Louie Tee Network for a breakdown of these games. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie Tee Network. Remember, I'll be breaking down these first half of the games as well on Twitter live at halftime. I'll be breaking that down, so come and check me out for that. And I'll be tweeting as the game is taking place. So go ahead and send me some tweets while you're watching the game, as I'll be tweeting while watching these games as well. So looking for all your predictions. Just to give you a quick wrap up, on Saturday, I took the home teams, Texans and Seahawks. On Sunday, I took the the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first game, and in the finisher of Wildcard Weekend, I took the only road team to win, the New York Giants. So those are my picks. See what you guys have. I look forward to hearing from you. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie Tee Network. As I said before, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you next time. Have a good one. You know where to find me when those games are over. Hell, you can even find me at halftime. I'll see you then. Have a good one. Enjoy the games. You know I will.